In 2005, Hurricane Katrina became the costliest natural disaster in the history of the United States. The monster storm ravaged the southeastern portion of the United States, including Louisiana, Texas, and Mississippi, causing over $108 billion of damage, nearly 5 times the size of Hurricane Andrew in 1992, the most expensive hurricane before Katrina. The cost for repairs from the Bush administration was set at $105 billion, and this number did not even include the potential cost of the oil supply and exports of commodities such as cotton. Also not included was the loss of 1 million non-farming jobs, along with hundreds of thousands of residents of Louisiana and Mississippi who were left unemployed, specifically the entire city of New Orleans. Because of the stop of cash flow between money being spent and money being earned, the government could not collect the tax in that area. The lack of tax revenue limited the government's resources and affected the cleanup for years to come. Unfortunately, before the storm, New Orleans was already one of the poorest areas in America and had a significantly high unemployment rate. Also, the Republican chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, Jim Sensenbrenner, refused to allow the victims of the hurricane to take advantage of the bankruptcy reform. He said, "If someone in Katrina is down and out and has no possibility of being able to repay 40% or more of their debts, then the new bankruptcy law does not apply." Now this may seem insensitive, and it pretty much is, but if he had let the victims take advantage of the reform, the banks would have crashed and plunged the city into even more debt. The immediate effects of Hurricane Katrina left the economy in utter chaos, and unfortunately, that was only the first part of the massive decline. In the days after the storm, New Orleans was surrounded by chaos, and the amount of disruption that the storm had caused was monumental. The storm interrupted oil productions, importation, and refining in the Gulf, and thus the fuel prices drastically changed. Before the storm, half of the U.S. consumed gasoline and a tenth of consumed oil came from the Gulf of Mexico. The biggest problem was distribution because of the power outages, and also no boats were available to reach the offshore oil platforms. Katrina forced many casinos to close and evacuate due to the severe water damage and wind damage. Mississippi lost almost $500,000 in tax revenue for each day that the casinos were closed. In the agricultural world, the costs of Katrina were minimal in regards to the growing of crops, but greatly affected imports and exports of crops to other countries. In 2004, 22% of U.S. wheat exports, 71% of corn exports, and 65% of soybean exports passed through Gulf ports, and because of Katrina's, those numbers were drastically changed. The catastrophic hurricane not only affected the southern portion of the United States, but also the rest of the world, especially in economics. The immediate and aftermath of economic effects of Hurricane Katrina left a profound impact upon the community and culture that still has them focused on recovery to this day.